Hello, boys and girls. In this video
and in this presentation, I'm going to be showing you what an Ozobot is and how it's used. I'm going to show you the different parts of it. I'm going to show you the different parts of the markers, how to hold the marker, what the tip of the marker looks like, and how to have fun with the Ozobot. Hope you enjoy.
The first thing you need to know is that this is an Ozobot. It's got several different parts, and in the front you'll see there are multiple different little lights, including one on the very top. These light up and change colors depending on what color the Ozobot is on. On the side, you'll see the power button. The power button is kind of small and it can be hard to see, but it has a little bump on it. So if you press it with your thumb, it will turn on. When it turns on, you can see that all of the lights on the front and on the top will light up. If you turn it over onto its bottom, you'll see that it has a small row of green lights. These are the Ozobot's eyes. They can sense color, and they can sense light. When the Ozobot senses color, like on a line that you draw, it will make the Ozobot move forward. You can also tell the Ozobot to do some dances, but that's a little bit later in the future. These are its wheels. The way you control the Ozobot is with a marker. This is your marker. Whenever you take the cap off, you want to leave it on the bottom so it doesn't fall off onto the floor. Pause the video and practice taking off the cap and putting it on the bottom of the marker now. Restart the video when you're done. Now that you've practiced taking on and off the cap, you should look at the marker. You'll notice that there's a point to it. It's not flat. It's got a little edge, kind of like a tip, a point. You can draw thin lines and you can draw thick lines with it. To draw a thin line, you'd hold the pencil straight up and down like I'm doing in this picture right here. And you'll see that it makes a thin line. Interesting thing though, this is not how you should hold the marker, and this is not how you should draw a line. Instead, let's look at the next two pictures. See how my hand is holding the marker at an angle? It's kind of tilted. See how the bottom of the marker is flat right here, where it's pressing up right against the paper. When I draw a line with it, you can see that it's much, much thicker than the one on the left. Kind of like these two lines. Here we have a thin line, and here we have a thick line. The Ozobot does much better on the thick line than the thin line, which you'll see in just a moment. Pause and practice drawing thin lines and thick lines. Now that you've paused and practiced, I want to point out two other things real quickly. These are two ways you do not want to hold the pencil, or excuse me, the marker. In a closed fist like this, it can squish down the tip of the marker, making it very hard to control and draw a thick line. You also don't want to hold it by the very tip because it'll make a very squiggly line. You won't be able to control it hardly at all. So again, we don't want to hold the marker like this or like this. Instead, practice the grip from the previous slide. Last, it's time to watch the Ozobot in action on the thin line and the thick line. It doesn't move when it's on the thin line, but it immediately detects the thick line and changes colors. See? Watch again as I place it on the thin line. It doesn't see it. It's too small. When I'm done with the Ozobot, I turn it off and I put it to the side. Boys and girls, if you noticed, it turned blue because we had a blue line. However, if we had used a different color marker, like these red ones in the bin back here, the Ozobot would turn red because of the sensors, the eyes, on the bottom of the Ozobot. It can turn any color line that you draw. What kind of shapes can you draw? Have fun drawing and making your little robot move.